Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and they made what into a movie. Oh God, I want to talk about this film. Oh, I don't want to talk this film. Oh my God, it is Borderlands. Look, while I don't take reviews, I take reviews with a pinch of salt. Everyone's got an opinion, right? So, like, doesn't it, just because someone doesn't like something, doesn't mean you won't like it. However, when the majority says, yeah, that's pretty bad, and that was the majority with this film, I believe it. I'm like, okay, that many people can't be wrong, right? Like they're not like, it's not like a group of gamers angry that the video game they love wasn't represented properly. This is people
Yep.
just saying, no, this is a bad film. And from the moment this was released, how the trailer, I remember the trailer back in the day when it's first released, and just being like, why is it so dark? Why is it not funny? Why are these people playing those characters? Why is Jack Black in everything? Like, honestly, I remember that. The film came out last August. I didn't see it at the time, but basically, it didn't take long for everybody to go, nah, that's a bit bad. And it was a bit of a setback again for those sort of video game movie adaptions because this was, well, I'm going to get to it in a minute, but this was a bit of a bomb. Now, I should say, of course, if you don't know what Borderlands is, it is a video game series developed by Gearbox Software. And of course, as we all know, Gearbox Software are one of the worst companies in the entire world. Not only do they embarrass themselves with their games these days, but also the lack of love and care they've got for their old games is shocking. And they also happen to have one of the worst people running them. As just a human being. I believe Randy Pitchford's still in charge of Gearbox, right? If I'm wrong on that, I can't remember. But either way, either he is or if he was, he is considered rightfully so, and I stand by that as just a terrible human being. But there you go. That's Gearbox for you. Avoid their shitty games, aside from Borderlands, which were good games once upon a time. So there you go. But yeah, this is a film based on that video game series. Co-written and directed by Eli Roth. Eli Roth's a funny one for me, man. Like, I think occasionally he does good stuff, either as an
Mm.
actor or as a director, but other times, man, oh man, is he really, really bad. Like, I don't mind Hostel. He's the director of that. They're okay horror movies. I like him
Yeah.
in Inglorious Bastards as an actor. But then, like, you get stuff like this. The Green Inferno was a terrible movie. Like, for me, he's a proper hit and miss actor and director. I don't know if you've got a different feeling about Eli Roth.
Yeah, no, I would. I mean, I like Hostel, as you said, but it's, other than that, yeah, I think he's just basically average. I mean, it just stuck this Yuri Ball's name on this movie. It might have improved it slightly. And
No, it
I
wouldn't.
think,
No, it wouldn't have.
I'm
But
being
it would have made
sarcastic.
more sense. It would have made more
But
sense.
at least he might have actually cast maybe different people, not big name actors or so-called actors. I just think that the casting. We'll get into the
Right.
casting. Yeah.
We're going to get to the casting in a moment. We are, because of course we're going to go individually and talk about each particular one, because that's the biggest thing I want to talk. Because here's the thing about this film. Normally we do like a plot talk through, and we will do the plot talk through, but it is more bridged because I had to watch the X-ray edition of this, which is some extended version. So an hour and 46 minutes. It's the only one that is available for free on Amazon Prime. I'm
Yeah.
not paying for this fucking movie. But that meant that meant it was quite long, but it also meant a lot of nothing fucking happens. A lot of nothing happens. We'll get to some of that as we go on. But mainly, this is going to be a talk through while I'm just glossing over parts. But so this was released August 9th, 2024. Don't release it on my birthday. That's terrible memory to have. Man, I turned 40. I turned 40 last year and Borderlands came out at the same time. That sucks. Yes, so obviously it received highly negative reviews, but it was a box office bomb and a significant one. Are you
Mhm.
ready for this? Production budget. A production budget, I can't even believe how much they spent in this movie, of between 110 to 120 million dollars. You lunatics.
Well, that's obvious where it went. It's the
Oh,
cast.
well, I think it's two things. I think it's the cast and the buttload of fucking effects they've had to use. Like the immense amount of effects. This film is effects, 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 and it's all been done in post-production because everything is so clean and smooth and so
Yep.
gross looking. Honestly, the film looks like shit. But you're absolutely right. A large portion of that I 100% believe went on the cast. Oh my God, because I get the point of you want this film to be appealing to a wide audience. And I get that. I do get that. But the problem is when you're doing a niche game, this isn't Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. This isn't
Hmm.
Mario. This is Borderlands. The only people who play Borderlands are people that have played Borderlands. It is not people who just play games casually, who play Call of Duty once a year and pick up FIFA. We're not going to be appealing to Borderlands. You don't need to spend this much money. So, but I get it. You're like, you know what we'll do? Big name actors.
Hmm.
That's what we put on the cover art. That's what we put out there. And that's what make people go, huh, I like that actor. Let me watch this film they're in. I get it. I get it. But you do that with one actor. You don't do it with six of them or four of them at least.
Well, yeah.
Or five of them. I mean, it depends. It depends who you consider. It depends who you consider big.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But let's go through them, Damon. Let us talk about this cacophony of actors, this entourage of actors that didn't need to be in this film. And we begin with the wonderfully talented Kate Blanchett as Lilith, who, my God, my God. I don't know. What do you reckon? Was he scared? And was Eli Roth and I can't remember, and the reshoot director, were they scared to sort of tell her, look, that sucked. Do that again. I think they were. I think because it's Kate Blanchett, they just went, yeah, let her do what she wants. And I think she went, yeah, I'm not trying.
Basically,
Honestly,
yeah. Yeah.
some of the I can't believe this is the same. This actor. I mean, when I open the opening narration is hilarious because like obviously you immediately go, well, she narrates Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But this is like the difference, like Lord of the Rings, one ring, all the passion and the worry and the depth to her voice. And this is like, yeah, there's a I think there's a planet. It's yeah, I'm bored already. And then every fucking scene is just her because she's got to look badass as well. It's just like I'm so aloof. Honestly, I thought she shit the bed here. Shockingly bad.
She looked bored throughout the entire thing. So,
Yep, honestly. But also, like from a video game perspective, I suppose what we actually no. Let's stop here. Have you actually? I just realized. Have you played any Borderlands games?
not for a bloody long time. We're talking
Right.
like 10 plus years.
Well, what, since the first game?
Well, I thought we're talking about a like PS2 version, but maybe was it
No, no, no,
PS2? I think.
no, 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 no. You're not thinking of the same game then. Borderlands first game came at the Xbox 360. There was not
Oh,
it
okay.
was not that
No,
early. Are you thinking of
okay.
Time Splitters?
It might be time splitters in my dad. I'm thinking about it. Maybe I haven't. And was the front cover something like, it was like a weird yellow sort of.
Yeah, like the psycho with a gun to his head, put
Yeah,
red
yeah,
and red. I think you
I-
played the original because I'm sure we played it
yeah,
cooperatively, four of us, me, you, Brendan, and Liam.
yeah. I might have done, but the fact that I don't remember it shows it had no significant effect. So
Well, I'm gonna clap back on that. I think the first Borderlands game was great, but I think the second Borderlands game was even better because that, of course, introduced the actual villain, the villain that should have been in this game, and the villain they would have no doubt tried to do if there was ever going to be a sequel, Handsome Jack, who was a great villain for the games. I actually have the third Borderlands games on my Xbox One now, or Xbox Series X, should I say? So I might eventually get around to playing it because I do like the simple games. All you do is shoot things with a wide array of weapons in a mad world, bright, colourful, over the top,
mm.
which is everything this film isn't. It's not bright, it's not colourful, it's not over the top, and it's certainly not fucking funny. Which brings us to the next actor. It's Kevin Hart as Roland Greaves. Okay, so stop there, folks. I get it. Already you're like, wait a minute. Kate Blanchett as Lilith. That's bad miscasting because Lilith is a lot younger and like that's weird, right? But you can forgive it because hey, Kate Blanchett wants to do your movie. You're not going to say no to that, right? Are you?
Mm.
But then you've got Roland, and you're like, you know who's great for Roland? Kevin Hart, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? This is stupid miscasting. And I get it. You're like, you know what? No, Kevin Hart's funny, but Kevin Hart is funny or like funny in a accessible funny way. And no,
Yeah.
I don't particularly have a lot of love or I don't really feel anything for Kevin Hart, but I'm going to defend him in a moment. I don't have a lot of love for Kevin Hart, but I get it. It's like, well, he's the comedy side part of this, right? Like and his comedy is safe enough for the most part to appeal to a lot of people, right? And
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, he's kind of hot and not. Do you know what I mean? I guess it depends if he's doing a movie with The Rock or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. But oh my God, not only is he not funny in this, but like, I don't think he's given anything to work with. I don't even think they give him a chance to be funny. In fact, I would argue he's barely in this film.
His dialogue is so terrible in this one. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, we're going to get to, well, the moment where I went, well, this is what this film's going to be. But before that, we have the most pointless casting choice of all. And I don't even get it because you fucked with his voice as well to try and make it computerized. Jack Black as the voice of Claptrap. Now, this is just bad timing. Bad timing more than anything else. So I guess we have to talk a little bit about the fact that Jack Black has lost a lot of love in the world. Of course, this is all related to last year's incident where on stage at Tenacious D show, Kyle Gass, his friend, his colleague, his band member, said something anti-Trump related. And obviously online that causes a lot of stir. Right or wrong, that's entirely up to you. We're not here to debate that.
Hmm.
But what we are here to debate is that Jack Black then threw his friend, while initially on stage on video was very supportive as a friend, then proceeds to throw his friend under a bus online. Dude, dude, dude. Now I get it. Is Jack Black is family friendly. I
Hmm.
get it. But man, oh man, have some conviction. That fucking sucked. And it generally hurt his image in a lot of people's eyes. But that's not the biggest problem, I think, about Jack Black. I think this is what he and other studios do not fucking get, which is when someone is hot, they go, that person is hot. Put him in everything. Every film, put him in. And he'd done it before. They did it with Chris Pratt. They put him in everything. And
I'm surprised he's
suddenly,
not in the film.
yeah, and then suddenly everybody's like, "Oh, sick of Chris Pratt." They're doing it. They're doing it with Zendaya. Zendaya is getting it now as well, and it's not. And I get it from an actor's perspective. This is money. This is you're hot. You earn money while you're hot, right?
Yeah.
You can't blame them at all. But the studios, and the problem is Jack Black did that, did Borderlands, and it makes no sense for him to be Claptrap. Claptrap could have been anyone's voice, and I don't even think he's bad at it. I think he's
Mm.
probably put more effort in than most compared but like oh it's just why Jack Black. But the problem is we are right now at the time recording a few days away from the Minecraft movie about to be released, and this looks like utter dog shit. Now I don't even know how you make a Minecraft movie, so maybe that's what the saving grace will be, but it stars Jack Black and you're like
Yeah.
I'm Jack Blacked out. I'm Jack Blacked out. So
We
when
got
like
Super Mario 2 coming soon.
exactly there's
it'll
even
be it'll be
more.
it'll be Bowser. It'll be Bowser in that. So
But hey, oh, there we go. Edgar Ramirez as Atlas. Why is he in this film? This film didn't need a fucking villain. But Jesus, what a pointless bad guy.
yep.
Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina. Now, she was screwed from day one. And the simple fact is this, is Tina from the games, they couldn't do it in a film. Not like this.
Yeah.
Not like this. There's a big problem with this film that I'm going to get to after the cast that will hopefully, I think, explain a lot of what I think where they went wrong. But basically, Tina is stunted, pointless, and just every cocky teenager ever. She does not feel unique. She doesn't
Mm.
feel like Tina from the game. And I don't think the actor's bad. I think she's probably one of the better ones in it.
Mm.
But the arc with her, it's just all a bit like, oh, we've seen it all before as well.
Yeah.
Florin Montiano as Krieg. Eh, he's all right. They wanted a psycho in it. He does the psycho job decent enough.
Yeah,
Gina Gershon as Mad Moxie. How can you fuck Moxie up this bad? How do you fuck Moxie up this bad? Where is that insane character? She's so pointless in this film. Oh, I hate Moxie in this film. Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis. Why? What pointless casting? And another one that saw paycheck. In fact, she's worse because her job is just to say things to move the story along.
yeah. I quite like her, like her as an actress, but I think lately she's taking a lot of this quick, easy paycheck. She's obviously getting older, so
Whoa, fucking harsh, Damon. I'm
I
harsh.
mean,
She is. She's been hot for a little while. It's that kind of thing, and because she's hot,
yeah.
she's doing a lot of roles.
Mm.
But yeah, but yeah, Haley Bennett as Lilith's mom. She's barely in it. Bobby Lee as Larry. I honestly, why do we keep casting Bobby Lee? I haven't quite. So this is a bit of a random one.
Mm.
I don't particularly find him funny, um, uh, and I watch Sex and the City. I am a Sex and the City fan. I love and hate that show. So of course
Mm.
the new stuff came out, and just like that, and Bobby Lee is in the first season of that, and he is one of the worst things in that show, amongst a lot of reasons for that show to be terrible. So yeah, wasn't particularly happy to see them here. Admittedly, though, probably has some of the funnier lines.
Yeah. I'll go that.
Oliver Richters as Crom. Janina Gavin Carr as Commander Knox, who has the most hilarious character change randomly at the end of the film. I was like, wait, what? You know when I do that thing where I'm like, did I black out and miss a part of the film?
Yeah, you have to pause and go
She
back.
now a good guy. I actually had to go back, like I thought I skipped a bit. And I'm like, holy shit, it's an hour and 46 minutes long, and you still cut a part out that I feel was important. And Benjamin Byron Davies as Marcus. Now, I mentioned him, even though he's minor, just because Marcus plays an important part in the role. In fact, he's the narrator in the game.
Yeah.
Now, I've added, right, a fact, a statement that I think sums up the level of shite that this film is. Elo Roth stated that his French bulldog pooping gave him inspiration while pitching the film. These are his words. I have to look away because she gets really shy. But one day I filmed her. She had that shy look on her face, and I was like, that's Claptrap. There you go, folks. The inspiration for this film, or pitching this film, was his dog shitting. And what does that tell you about this film?
In his defense, Andy Serkis' inspiration for Gollum was a cat choking up a hairball. So,
Indeed, indeed.
so,
The sound of his voice was an element of it, but it evolves into something else. It's not a
yeah,
defense. It's not a
yeah,
defense to say, oh, and I almost feel like there's a joke there, but the fact that there's an actual scene of Claptrap them pooping, if you remember, pooping bullets,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, for God's sake. So do you want to know what my biggest problem with this film is?
It was too long.
Oh, it's too long and too boring, but there's a reason why all of that gets fucked up. And it's
Well,
this. This film is not adult enough. This should have been R rated,
mm,
18 or 15 at least. It should be bloody. It should be gory. It should be violent. It should be sweary. It should be Borderlands. And the biggest problem this film has is it tries to go for a wide audience. And
mm.
because of that, it's got no swearing, no blood, no violence. It's so tame. That's what fucks it up more than anything else.
It had to make obviously it had to be cinema friendly, so parents will bring their kids to the cinema. That's why.
Yeah, except we have had modern R-rated movies, and this is from last year. There's no excuse
Mm.
that prove that there can be a huge amount of success. Now, I know it's harder with a video game movie. to our. I get that, but you know what you do then? Don't spend 120 million on it, you freaking melts.
Yep.
Anyway, so we begin with voiceover, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm out." My God, why? Oh, and it's just, oh, there's a planet, and it's terrible, and it's Pandora, and it's like, God Almighty, make it sound more exciting. I'm bored. I'm like, I don't want to go there. It sounds shit.
Should have got Morgan Freeman that did the voiceover. Would have been
At least
bit more interesting.
At least it's impactful. But basically, in a nutshell, Pandora was once ruled by a powerful, intelligent race of aliens named the Iridians. They've long disappeared, but they left fragments of the technology behind, which became the foundation of modern human civilization. However, according to a legend, the Iridians left their biggest secrets inside things called vaults, hidden on the planet of Pandora. And according to some prophecy, only the daughter of Iridia can open the vault, but nobody else can access it. But it doesn't mean people aren't trying to find it. So basically, Pandora, which was once a calm and peaceful planet, has now turned into a violent and extreme place because of various corporations, criminals, and treasure hunters are all out there trying to find a secret vault and claim it for themselves, which is the story of Borderlands in a nutshell. But trust me, folks, the game is a lot more fun and a lot more exciting the way it tells this story.
Sounds like they're trying to open Pandora's box.
Well, but that's what it is. Pandora, exactly that.
Yeah,
It's chaos. Planet of Pandora is supposed to be chaotic. But elsewhere, we now cut to a mercenary soldier named Roland, who we see is breaking into a prison to rescue a girl named Tina, tiny Tina. According to Roland, Tina's father has sent him to rescue the girl and take her back to him. But you can tell immediately she's a bit suspicious. And here we get the one and only joke that made me go, this is what this film's going to do.
Mm.
So, guess what, folks? Kevin Hart's on screen. What's the first joke they make about Kevin Hart? Took my wife 2 tries to get this correct. She was like, "Don't," and then she said the correct joke. Kevin Hart. What's everyone's jokes about him? He's short. He's short, folks. So there's a short joke, but this is also a Star Wars joke. Of course, you're a little short for a stormtrooper, aren't you? Get it?
Yeah.
Honestly, I went, this is what we're going to do here. This is the level of humor we've got. During their escape, they take along a man named Krieg, basically, who's a psycho, and he's become friendly with Tina, basically like a brother. Don't, an hour and 46 minutes, don't fucking think there'll be any explanation or backstory for either of those characters. No. We need shit for Lilith. Because it's all about Lilith. Fuck these characters. Fuck learning why at all Krieg would care about Tina in depth or have a relationship with him or even any past about him. He's just a big muscle of it to also say psycho things which aren't funny. So Roland was a member of the Crimson Lance private militia. Basically, Commander Knox runs that group and he's now abandoning them. And he travels to Pandora with Tina and Krieg. Basically, the plan is to find the Iridian treasure for himself. I fill in the blanks there because the film doesn't explain that.
Nope.
Elsewhere, on a distant planet, somewhere else, we meet a bounty hunter named Lilith, who ends up at a bar and she has a mission. She's got a bounty, basically. He's a hostage, and this is where you'll realize, this is Kate Blanchett's performance. She looks like she wishes she was anywhere but here.
Yep. Just looks, as I said, the entire dialogue should just bored. Just bored. Yeah. Paycheck.
But yeah, 100%. Anyway, some people approach her for a new mission. And one of them is like a hologram. And this is where you get like these pointless CGI moments. So they've made this like whole hologram thing where he wears a face and you put it on and he speaks for that face. And it's like, you could have done that cheaper.
Mm.
Like, why? I know you want to be, I get Borderlands. What I'm saying is like, if you're not, don't spend as much money if it's going to cause this much problems.
Yeah.
But this is Atlas. And basically he wants to hire Lilith basically to find his missing daughter, Tiny Tim. I was going to say Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim. Yes, that's a bit better. Tiny Tina and bring her back to him unharmed. Of course, Liv's like, I ain't no babysitter. And then, of course, money makes her change her mind. But she's got to go to Pandora. And then it's you couldn't pay me enough to go back to there. And then it's like, apparently you could. Yep, that's it. That's how we get her involved in this. But Lilith doesn't really want to go back there because Pandora is so much trouble, filled with all these things. But life been basically destroyed. It's a wasteland, which again is accurate to the game. There's what's it called? So Lilith or Ghost goes to the planet, and I am skipping over so much here, folks, because none of this matters. There's a lot of
Nope.
narration. It's a lot of nothing. Lilith goes to the planet, immediately runs into Marcus, who takes her on a bus ride to a destination. We get a scene where he keeps calling her a Vault Hunter because everybody comes there to be Vault Hunters. This scene goes on for like 2 minutes, and it doesn't need to exist.
Nope.
But actually, I'm going to reveal it now. She hates Pandora, not just because it's violent and nasty, but actually, it's because she was born here. And she's got, I know, folks, Borderlands, this Borderlands film has a subplot about her having mummy issues. I know. I was excited as it was about you.
Yep.
Basically, as well, her mother was a vault hunter, and Lilith feels that her mother abandoned her when she was young, about 8 years old, basically, and she's got mummy issues. And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this. But also, right, this is gonna maybe it's gonna make me sound a little bad. I don't know. I get like you can be mummy issues don't go away, or familial issues don't go away at a certain age, but she's too old to have this problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Now, I don't want Kate Blanchett looks fantastic. It's Kate Blanchett. She does look fantastic.
Hmm.
But she also looks like she's in her 50s. And I'm like, I there's teenage angst here. It's teenage fucking angst. And I
Mm.
found it really awkward to watch. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I always gathered that the character would have been around in the mid 30s, at least mid 30s, 35, that sort of age there. But
In
yeah,
the game,
Cate
in
Blanchett's
the
definitely 50.
so in the game, she's in her 20s, but also the thing that happened, or certainly young. But
Mm,
and the thing that happens at the end of this film already exists. Lilith is already that character
mm.
in the game. But anyway, she hates vault hunting because of the bitterness towards her mother. Um, but basically, of course, she's here to find Tiny Tina. And on the planet, she runs into the robot named Claptrap, which is basically every attempt to make you laugh. Basically, that's what Claptrap is. Now, I get it. Claptrap is this annoying thing in the game. But I don't know, man. The game, it just feels like it's got more personality. Now, a major part of that is the fact that it's pure CGI here, and there is too much Claptrap here in this film compared to the game. Claptrap is going to follow around, basically, and he was damaged and dumped, basically this junkyard for many,
Mm.
many years. He was programmed to come back to life automatically. Well, that's weird, isn't it? So he's come back to life immediately, right after Lilith returns to Pandora. Huh.
I
I
wonder.
wonder if that's going to be right. I wonder. So fucking lazy, isn't it? Warning, folks, this film thinks it's got twists. It thinks it's got twists, including a big one that is so fucking hilariously easy to spot. I would be surprised if you don't already know it right now. Because all the talk is about the daughter of Iridia. The daughter of Iridia, which of course is Tiny Tina. Except nobody's actually said it was Tiny Tina. They just
Oh,
presume it. Right?
yep.
Right? But weird. Someone else is our main character. Huh. Huh. Anyway, basically, Clapton tells Lilith about Tina's last known location on Pandora. So they're now teamed up. Bounty Hunter is tracking down Tina. We see she's attacked by Tina and Krieg. She tracks her down really quickly. We're going to get to a lot of these super quick moments because Pandora is a huge planet. And coincidentally, everybody sort of landed near each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tina pretends to be like innocent and all that, but Tina is able to look after herself. Um, this is similar to the game, except Tina is insane in the game.
Mm,
That's kind of the whole thing. Instead, what I get from Tina here is, do you remember Jurassic Park 3?
yep.
The one with like the Spinosaurus and Sam Neill and the kid that had to survive. That's what it reminds me of, which is not something I want to be reminded of because that film
Yeah, yeah,
sucks.
yep.
Anyway, they get attacked by Crimson Lance soldiers, so Lilith has to join up with them, and she ends up teaming up with Tina as well. Because Tina reveals that she doesn't want to be reunited with her father. And actually, Roland and Krieg are trying to keep her away from Atlas. So, what was the beginning part about then? About him bringing up. Wait, what?
Yep.
Why would he not tell her that immediately? Like, if he knows Atlas isn't her father and she knows that, why didn't it say to him, I'm here to save you from Atlas? Because it was for our benefit. That makes no fucking sense. That's
Nope.
dumb. But also, you might be wondering where Roland is. Well, he's back now, and he reveals that Tina is one of the keys to the vault, and basically Lilith should team up with them as well. So yeah, that's the first time we hear that Tina might be one of the keys to the vault, basically. Lilith and Claptrap join the gang too, and they head to a bar run by Mad Moxie, who happens to know Lilith well. And Moxie's role in this is to stand there and stare wistfully at things, while also not being. Mad Moxie isn't a good or a bad guy in the games.
Mm.
But also, just like all the people on Borderlands, she's insane. Yes, she's dressed like that, Damon. But also, her boobs are not pushed up that high. They are insane in the game, but in this, they've gone, we want Gina, baby. We got to get the girls out. We got to get them up, up, up. Because they've also done the U. It's weird. You said about Yui Ball, but I feel like they filmed Moxie like Yui Ball would have filmed her, which is
Yep.
better get those boobies on screen a lot.
They've got to do. They've got to try and get the younger little boys or the audience in. So.
Well, the weird thing is, like, I get it, because Moxie in the game has a certain level of sex appeal. Borderlands is an adult game. That's fine. That's fine. This is not an adult film. That's why this is weird. But I just hate what they've done with Moxie. So much that I'm just going to gloss over her. They end up, Moxie basically helps them find a secret vault, reveals to Lilith that she was raised at this particular place, abandoned by a mother at the age of 8. Gone. Roland believes that Dr. Patricia Tannis, a scientist, can help them track down the keys to the Iridium Vault, and in the process leading to the vault itself. Turns out Tannis was the foster mother of Lilith who looked after her when her mother disappeared. Basically, that's when they get reunited, and we get this really awkward scenes between two good actors who are doing bad acting. Just bad acting. Basically, yeah, and sort of Tannis is defensive of her mother and things like that. But basically, money still counts, so they're gonna all team up together. Tiny Tina now reveals to Lilith that she doesn't want to go back to Atlas because, of course, the man isn't her father. Basically, she was genetically manufactured to be a key. So Atlas and his team found an old Iridian artifact with some blood on it. They believed it to be the blood of an alien race, so they used that to they Jurassic Parked her. I can't believe I'm referencing Jurassic Park twice here, but they Jurassic Parked her basically.
Yep.
His plan was to let Tina grow up to be a teenager, then use her to open up the secret vault that would lead them to the treasure. Why?
Yeah. If you've never played the games or watched this film and just heard like you talking about it, my God, it sounds like such a pile of shit.
It's not like this. I get it, right? It's not like this, right? I get it, right? You would have really struggled to make Borderlands into a game. Because all you are is a vault hunter. One of these vault hunters, Lilith, Roland, Krieg, a few others. And Tina is not even in the first game. She's from the later games. I don't think she's in the first game, folks. I'm sure she's in the later games. The first Borderlands doesn't really have a story. You're just vault hunters, and it's multiplayer. You can either play single player or up to 4 players. And all you've got to do is complete missions to find vault keys and open the vault at the end and fight a boss and all of that. There's lots of side missions, lots of silliness, lots of crazy, crazy entertaining stuff. It is a fun game. It's famous for its RNG, which is its random weapons. And the weapons are insane. It is a lot of fun. The second game, Borderlands 2, that's the one that introduced an actual story with a proper villain, Handsome Jack, and so on and all of that. So but I get it. You would have struggled to make Borderlands into a game, a film. So do you know what you don't do? Don't start with Borderlands 2. Don't touch the first one or take elements of the first game and combine it. But because they were already thinking, well, we need stuff for a sequel. So we're going to have to save the stuff for the sequel. You're never getting a sequel.
Do you think that's why it felt so bad? The fact that a lot of people who are watching this for the first time have never played the game and probably thinking, like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this crap? Yeah, yeah,
Boring. It's boring. It's the
yeah.
same stuff you've seen before. We've seen all this before. This is the same basic bitch story, which is,
Mm.
familial problems, miscommunication. We'll actually go back to get it, the miscommunication, because obviously we now learn that Lilith changes her mind about bringing Tina in and
Mm.
smashes the device that she was going to contact Atlas, but she ends up speaking to Atlas, which Tina oversees and thinks that something. All of that happens. That's
Yep.
such a basic bitch fucking storyline. But yeah, they're attacked by Nox. The group, Tina, also the ease at which to find the other keys. It's like, here is another key. And Tanis knows the location of the second key, which is in the sewer location. They go down to an underground warehouse full of boxes. And this is what I'm talking about. Oh my God, you have bought Borderlands. Borderlands. We should mention it had an earlier scene. We forgot the old piss scene. The
Oh
jokes
yeah.
about the piss scene involving the that and stuff like that. At least that uses a bit of imagination, but it's all
Mm.
CG. But here it's like all it is a warehouse, a dark warehouse full of boxes. You have Borderlands, and this is the level of imagination you have. And then it's like, yeah, we've got to find a key. And then Lilith's like, I found it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What are we even doing here? Now, later they're going to try and explain this because immediately I was like, there's only two ways this works out. One, they genuinely didn't give a shit. And we're like, yeah, just find a key.
Yeah.
Like the script went, they end up in a room full of boxes. Next line, Lilith finds the key. Next line. That's about how it went.
Yeah.
Or, hear me out. Hear me out, folks. I know. Lilith is actually the daughter of Iridia. I know. Crazy jump. I don't know where I've leaked to that,
I know,
but you
shocking.
never know. I might be onto something. Did you work it out by now? Had you worked it out? Because it's really fucking odd. This part to me was just like laughable.
I think, yeah, it was extremely obvious.
But I didn't put it past him, Damon, that it was just really bad script writing too.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But anyway, guess who lives in the sewers? Psychos! And we get a very, oh my God, lengthy action scene that is so boring. And do you know
Mhm.
why it's boring? Because it looks fake. There's no blood. Nobody's in any real threat. Honestly, you can't make action scenes look any less boring than this.
Well, I mean, you know, I know it's a completely different film, but when you compare like that's this sort of action here to like the Dead Rising action we had in those crappy films, the action, how can such a low budget film have better action than such a high budget film?
Because of that, you just nailed it. It's because you've been forced to think in a different way. So,
Mm.
for example, you're filming up close, but also those Dead Rising films spilled blood. Blood, blood, blood. How can you have all these psychos being shot up and not a bit of fucking blood? It takes forever to get going because also the biggest clue is we need to start with a distraction. They have Claptrap go in to create a distraction, right? And
Mm.
he insults the psychos, right? But this film, because I should have had Claptrap coming in and doing this. You fucking pieces of shit. You disgusting, horrible monsters. You make me sick. I puke my guts at you bunch of pricks. All of that. Instead, he's like, hey, you poopy butthole faces. And it's like, oh my God. Oh
Yeah.
my God. How embarrassing is that?
Mm.
So awkward. But yeah, also, it's also clean. Even here, it's also clean because it's CG'd. I don't, I started to wonder if the actors were even there. Like I started to wonder if
Yeah,
what
yeah.
part I was looking at the screen thinking, what's actually real here?
Mm.
Like that's how bad it is. And I got a picture on my head of the only thing being real, Kevin Hart standing there butt naked, and everything around him is green screen,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
including
Green screen, yeah.
everything, his outfit. Like, why even bother putting him in an outfit? Just green screen the shit onto him, right? Why
Yeah,
even
yeah.
fucking bother?
Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the worst thing is, right, we get one action scene that goes on for like an hour, or it feels like it does. Then it ends, and then there's another one.
Yep.
in the same place, same stuff. What are you doing? And this is all so. Oh my God. I stopped and went, my wife's over there, and I went, you aren't even gonna believe what they've done here. Right, so stick with me, folks. Stick with me. Now, bear in mind that Roland has actually barely been in this film. It is all about fucking Lilith,
Yep.
squeezing every inch of that screen time out with occasional nods towards Tina. But now, with no build-up and no reason and no sense, he chooses to sacrifice himself so the others can escape. And they actually treat this as a sacrifice with the music as well. With Tina going, no, Roland. I'm like, what's going on? First off, right, Kevin Hart is always the wrong person for this. Look, I don't have an issue with Kevin Hart, but dramatic roles, what are we doing, people? Dramatic
Yeah.
moment in this film, what are we doing? This was so stupid. But also, I didn't get it. I couldn't work out, and I watched this film twice. I could not work out why he was sacrificing himself. I know there's a reason about the lift and all of that, but I'm like, couldn't you use like guns and like they're still the psychos are still trapped behind it. I know they're breaking through, but like
Yeah.
you still have weapons, right? All of you. Like I didn't understand the purpose of the sacrifice, right? It was all a bit weird. But anyway,
Not,
go on, sorry.
I was going to say, not enough budget. He's probably reached his paycheck limit or something.
Right? Okay, so right. Spoilers, Roland does die in the game. He does die in the game. But just for the record, right? You know what Roland is in the game? Very stoic, very like he's very serious,
Mm.
very straight talking. In fact, a lot of the other characters are silly, and Roland's the one that's like, can we stop behaving like like that kind of thing. But Roland then does end up dying in Borderlands. So I was like, well, we're gonna
Yeah.
Anyway, the lift goes up, but they end up teleporting out to a different area. And then they're all like, oh my God. Tina's like, I told you I'm special. I'm the daughter of Iridia. I teleported you. And Tanis is like, see, whatever and all that. And Lilith's like, oh my God. And I'm sitting there going, oh, Tina, the daughter of Iridia. That totally wasn't Lilith. And here's the problem as well. Here's the biggest problem the film fucking forgot, right? Forgot. I played the fucking game.
Hmm.
I know what Lilith is. And the fact that you're saying this Lilith currently isn't that version, I'm like, well, obviously by the end of the film, she's going to be that version. Mm. Um, right. What should I talk about now? Because I'm just like, I'm jumping all over the place here. I do, right. Well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll say it now. I was going to come back to basically this, right? So, folks, Roland, he's died. What should we do? How will we go on in the film? How will we exist? Obviously, come the end of the film, folks, he hasn't died, right? He comes bursting in to save the day because this film sucks so much it won't even kill a character off. Do you want to explain how he survived, right? But he'll come to save the day, which, if you think about a blockbuster film, is a way he's alive,
Yeah.
woo! Yep. Except the film is so bad, it actually shows you this beforehand. For some fucking reason, we now cut back to the sewers to have Roland getting up under a pile of bodies. Fuck knows how he survived it. But getting up under a pile of bodies, because remember, he was blowing up the teddy in his hand. But he gets up under a pile of bodies, makes a joke and all of that. I'm like, oh, you've just shown us he survived. So when he comes screaming in at the end, I already know he's alive. What's the
You've
fucking,
got,
where's the surprise?
you've got exactly. You've lost that shock factor.
It's so stupid, right? And even though
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared either way, it's
Yeah.
still so stupid. I have no idea. And I thought, right? Oh, is this the extended edition? Is this what they accidentally left in? I checked. Nope. This exists in the standard.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, right, okay. So the film, which has already dragged on forever, is now about to just stop dead in its fucking tracks. We are at the end of the movie. Will you just fucking end? No, folks. We gotta deal with Lilith's stuff. We gotta
Yep.
deal with her familial issues because basically we Star Wars it again. Thank you, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Recording from Claptrap, which is from her mother, coincidentally, because she's now in a place where she used to live, basically, and it causes these memories. And the recording basically reveals, thankfully, this recording is perfect. And it reveals that, I did love you. And I'd left you because I had no choice. Because we were getting attacked and I had to get you away because you're the daughter of Iridia. Dun, dun, dun! I literally shit myself. I had to go change my underpants. I was like,
The shock factor.
how did you trick me so, film? You are so good. How did you trick me? It's so fucking, I was just like, honestly, but I was like, who cares? What difference does it make? Like, what difference does it make? And basically, Claptrap was a companion who was supposed to wake up when she finally returned. So why the fuck did it take so long for the recording to kick in?
Yeah, true.
Anyway, so apparently had Lilith's identity been made public, everyone would have fought over to use her as a key to the vault, and that would expose the girl to great danger. So her answer to that was to abandon her or leave her with Tannis and send her away. And of course, she ended up dying, and all of this comes from a drawing and stuff like that. Yeah, and looking at the drawing, Lilith goes, so I'm the daughter of Iridia, and then goes, oh, actually, what I am, based off this drawing. So here we've got a line to connect these dots. And she goes, wrong! And I'm like, well, I'm an Iridian goddess named Firehawk. All right, that's a thing. And this is just to gain character, but like, it's such a fucking way. What happened, man?
Yeah.
It's such, and all of this is done, folks, through talking. Now, we do have a brief flashback scene of the mother putting a slow motion, putting her daughter on a ship with Tannis. I'll always love you. And it means fucking nothing. Honestly, I couldn't believe I was watching Borderlands. I'm staggered of how badly they fucked this up. But elsewhere, Atlas has arrived because we needed him as a villain. He's actually here as well. Like, for some reason, he's actually come. And like, all the bad guys are here and he's going to force Tina to do whatever, that kind of thing. But no, Lilith arrives and she's now the Firehawk and just basically decimates everybody. It is the maddest ending you're ever going to see of just pointless. Because you even get like, Tina's like, oh, I'm not special. I thought I was special. And then like, Lilith's like, you'll always be special to me. And I was like, oh my God. And then Tina's like, yeah. Thanks, Mum. I mean, Lilith, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God. Also here, we get like Roland returning. And now Commander Knox goes, I'm not a bad guy anymore. I'm a good guy. And I was like, honestly, I know I've done this with you with ball stuff. I thought I had like a moment where like I just like left my body and like I like was wandering off somewhere. I was doing something fun over there. And then I had to return to my body and I'd miss shit. Like, it's like, wait, what? And I was like, what happened? How the fuck? Why does she become a good? And it's all because, oh yeah, well, he's a bit of a prick, ain't he? And I'm like, no, she doesn't say prick. That's the thing, folks. This film doesn't do. But like, she's just like, oh, I don't want to be a bad. What? And then like, Lilith's like, oh, Lilith ends up opening the vault door because he's like, I'm going to kill Tina if you don't open the vault door. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be all powerful? Anyway, they go into the vault, which is as crap it was in the game. Listen, the ending of Borderlands is famously a bad ending of the actual game because it's just like, oh, that's the vault. How unexciting. And this is very much the case here, except it's even worse because it's just CGI, nothing. And then here's some technicals, which is actually the game as well. It's a monster and it kills Atlas and that's it. And then they leave and that's it. That's it. Yeah, Atlas dies and everybody lives happily ever after. That's it. That is it. That is the ending, folks. There's jokes, there's references. Lilith decides to stay because she's got a new family, which is all these Vault Hunters together, and they end up forming a group. Tina, Roland, Krieg, Tannis, Claptrap. It's called the Vault Hunters, and that is the end of the film. And I hated almost every minute of this. Honestly, I know I've not done the best plot development story here, folks, but it's so hard to want to talk about this, particularly when nothing fucking happens. When I say nothing happens, I am mean it. Honestly, scenes are dragged out. Nobody matters. It somehow is an hour and 46 minutes long, yet does nothing for characters, explains anything, links anything up, cuts the wrong stuff, keeps the wrong stuff in, does a terrible job of being interesting, and hits every boring ass story beat possible right up to the fucking end.
Mm.
I was staggered. And like I said, I went in. It is one of those rare times where I went in knowing this was going to be bad. I know we can go into films and be like, oh, it's a Uwe Ball film, so it's probably going to be bad. But it doesn't always mean it's going to be bad. Or there might
Yeah,
be stuff that's good. I went into this going, this is going to be bad. And holy fucking shit. I this, folks, is what we call a franchise killer. Not the
mm,
games, but the film side of things. This is
yeah,
what Super Mario Brothers, the movie, did in the 90s. This is it. You will never see anything for Borderlands again, or
yeah.
not for a very long time. No studio, certainly not from a film perspective, will risk it. When you have lost this much money, no one will dare do it. You've now poisoned this. You've already got Gearbox poisoning the actual company behind the games, poisoning the video game side of things. Now you've got this poison in the movie. Let it die. I think it's done. I think Borderlands is done. I think there's a new Borderlands game coming out, but I don't think anybody really cares. This is bad, folks. But also this sets all video game movies back because we have big runs and runs like Sonic and Mario and all that, and then along comes something like this to just absolutely fuck it up and remind studios that it is a risk.
Yeah, massacres. Yeah.
Did you like this? You know less about Borderlands than I do. Do you have anything positive to say about this?
No, so I saw I actually saw this film twice. I saw this when it first came out,
Yeah.
and then I was obviously forced to watch it again for this. But yeah, no, it's a horrible film, horrible casting, way over budget. If you have got no idea about the games, even if you have got ideas about the games, I just think it does not appeal to no one. And as you said, it completely destroyed the process of games and the films. I'm sure people will still do them, but it just puts a major downer on anything going forward.
This has put you. Has this put you off playing Borderlands, any of the games?
It, yeah, yes and no. I mean, before I would even play a Borderlands game now, I would have to watch it on YouTube just to get an idea of what the game is like and the gameplay and the style and the characters, because I wouldn't want to put it in and then suddenly I put it in and I press play and then the achievement pops around and I'm like, oh fuck, now I'm stuck. So
Or it starts with like Lilith doing narration. You're like,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
Carl said this wouldn't happen.
yeah. Yeah, and it's just unfortunate because the cast are okay in certain aspects. Obviously, Kate Blanchett is probably clearly the highest paid out of a lot
Oh
of my
yeah.
opinion. But the other ones have got okay films and certain things, but together they just don't work.
Um, you know what the most shocking thing of all though? I was 100% convinced that this film would have a post-credit scene, a sequel bait. I'm like, well, they have to set up Handsome Jack, right? They're going to have a post-credit scene where either at the end, I thought they could do a funny joke. Do you remember that old post-credit scene, right? Where, from a Marvel movie, where very early on, Thanos
Mm.
like was first introduced, and it's him opening it up and reaching for the glove, saying, "Well, I'll have to do it myself." I think it's after the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you
Yeah,
remember that post-credit scene?
yep,
I thought they should do that. Have it where Handsome Jack, I don't know, he's reaching for a gun, and we cut to his face because obviously his face is quite famous, and whoever actor's
mm,
portraying him, I just have him go, "Looks like I'm going to have to do it myself," like that kind of thing. Like that could have been a fun kind of thing. There is
yeah.
no post-credit scene. However, there is a mid-credit scene. Did you see it?
I literally as soon as it ended, I turned it off straight away because
You made the
I'd had
right
enough.
choice. Do you know why? Because you know what the mid-credit scene is?
Go on.
It's Claptrap dancing. He then makes a 4-4 breaking joke before the credits push him off scene. he makes a joke about being an Easter egg, and that's it. And I was like, you fucking gits, you fucking gits. Like, just to insult me that little bit further, you made me sit. I mean, I didn't sit, I skipped through, obviously, to get to that point. But even
Yeah,
after that, I was like, well, I've got to go right to the end. And you know, when you get to the end of the like the proper end of the credits, and you're like, no one would have stayed in the cinema this long. There isn't a credit scene. I'm like, no, just wait. And like, honestly, I did. There was nothing. I was actually shocked. But then, thank God there wasn't, because now I don't have to wonder about what could have been.
yeah,
Honestly, yeah. Listen, folks. Even if the reviews weren't as bad as they are, the fact that this lost so much money would be enough to guarantee there's nothing in the future here. But
yeah,
really, it is. What people say is true. It is as bad as everyone says it is. And the biggest thing about it is this: by making it not family friendly, that's the wrong word, by making it so audience friendly, so wide, and not making it hard R rated / over 18, by not generally lowering the budget and going for a more video game feel and appealing to that side of things rather than a mass audience, but not fucking putting major stars in all of this, you shot yourselves in the foot. I
mm,
I almost have to believe, from a studio perspective, that did this spiral out of control and they were like, ah, shit, we have spent too much money to back out now.
yeah. Yeah, I tell you what annoys me too about these game adaptations. Okay, now I know it's practically impossible to do it, but I would like a cast who have experience with their game. I can't see Kate Blanchett sitting down there playing Borderlands. I just can't see it.
Mm.
And maybe she has, but I would like a cast who actually know the games, know the
Mm.
character, have some sort of idea.
Yeah and no. I know what you're saying, but in some circumstances, I think that's a problem,
Mm,
particularly if it's a character that's well developed. So, for example, if it's a character in Borderlands, they're not that well developed. But if it's a character, let's say they were doing Assassin's Creed, but with Ezio. But you already know Ezio.
mm,
You have a voice actor and a character. So nobody is going to be able to replace that. But also, if that person then sits down and plays Assassin's Creed and then plays the Ezio, that might accidentally influence them from doing their version of it. I think it's a complex thing. I really
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I think there's no easy answer. But in this regard, I don't think it fucking matters. I don't
No,
think it matters because it's Borderlands. I do think it's one of those. It just reminds me of like, why are you trying to make? Why do you keep making movies out of games that are really hard to make movies out of?
yeah.
Do more simple stuff. And there we go. That's Borderlands. I'm tired of talking about it. I want to finish this video. We're done. That's it. You got any thoughts on what we're going to share here? Do you like Borderlands? Because I did a poll on Instagram and it was 100% no. So, I don't think anybody does. But have you got anything positive to say about this stupid bloody movie? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.